Hey, it's H here, and on today's video we're checking out Ethereum. Now this chart is on Bitstamp as it is one of the longest price history charts out there, so that is the reason I'm using it. Now this chart starts around August 2015 up to the current day. Now we're going to check out some Elliott Wave counts today, and let's get right into it. So what can I see here is some kind of wave here with some corrections in between, then a bigger correction, maybe correcting this part, and another correction maybe correcting this part, and then another leg up. So this is the way I label this first leg here as a cycle 1, cycle 2. Note this part does not overlap here, so this is a potential 1 and a potential 2. Now I have a count here that says this exact thing, and currently we're developing the primary 4. I got a parallel channel right here, pivoted from 1, 3 to 2, and we can also have a pitchfork. Let me see, cycle 3 primary, so this one. Let me hide that for a second. Actually, let me just hide that one. And as you can see, it somehow fits this price action. There's a different types of pitchforks. Usually use the original one, as these other ones can be used for other things, non-impulsive I guess. But I think that is some educational content, and maybe we'll get into that a bit later. But let me hide this pitchfork here and bring up this count. Now this count says we're correcting for the wave 4 and with a target in mind of around 382. The invalidation is down here at around $350, so that is a long way off, and as this looks kinda impulsive, I really don't see us going this low. Now there is another way to look into this, and let me show that to you, and that is here. This is just an alternative way. To me, the first option that I showed or shared is better. Here we can see, well, these are not really correlated too well, because this is so old price action. Just use this general one here, and 1-to-1 here. So also with this size of this wave, we could say that this is done. We can also measure the actual wave 3 of this cycle 1 to give us some kind of insight. Now, as this is wave 1 of this cycle, the wave 3 usually is much larger, and that is one reason this could still be valid. Also, I've labeled this as 4, but there is a possibility, of course, being this just an ABC or WXY, or just ABC here for the intermediary 4 coming up around here or up to here. I've labeled this as a primary 4 or intermediate 4, depending on the wave count or wave degree placed here. I can show you that in a bit as well. So let's dive a bit deeper into this count. So this is the first option that I showed you, where primary 1, 2, 3 and developing the primary 4. And this is what it looks like. We don't really need to go too deeply into this. I got intermediary 1, 2 here, 3, 4 here and a 5th here. Let me declutter this a bit. Can't remember even what that was. Okay, that was the yeah, so this line here is just a 382 retracement. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, I did a lot of different label counts here, and this looks pretty okay. Had to go pretty low wave degrees in some spots to make this count valid, but it looks pretty good as it is. But what is the most important or interesting part, I guess, is the price action that we're dealing with right now. This is marked as primary 3 top. We got RSI here. Let me see if we can get into it weekly. Okay, so primary 3 is right here. We got a divergence here for the intermediary 3 and the intermediary 5th of the primary 3rd, giving us some divergence. We can also notice that after this 3 we have seen, maybe I'll show the volume a bit better, bring that up, and of course this one as well. We can see volume declining a lot, which is a sign of correction as well. Now let's go back to the our daily time frame. I got a couple of different lines here. On the money flow index we see it's decreasing, same as MACD. This high point here as well is usually placed on the wave 3 highest point, which matches this point in our analysis here. Now let me hide those for a bit and we can check out again the wave 4 targets that we already discussed a bit in before. So this was the 382 retracement of this primary 3. The intermediary 4 of this primary 3 is usually the place where we would like the wave 4 of primary count to end. We can see a lot of action on the volume profile around here. Wave 4 is labeled here, so around this high area of volume. There's a couple other places where we can see loads of action. This bottom here is a really big support, and those are the ones that we are looking for the most. Now I got some lower time frame counts for this correction, and I think we can start with the bullish one right here. Let me delete some of this, and I can actually hide the time for now as well. So the invalidation point for this one intermediate 1, 2 is down here, as this is where this intermediary count begins. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into intermediary 1, and then WXY down back here. We got alternation between the... Did I have it set up here? Nope. But we have alternation between these corrections right here and right here. Here we got a zigzag, and here we got a expanded flat. This area is still a bit uncertain, but I've labeled it as WXY, and in this case the 4 would be here. Now that is something that I really don't like. There's a WXY here as well, but if these are different wave degrees as mentioned on this count, so this would be 3 and 4, and then we're looking for the intermediary one up here, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to the intermediary 5th. That is also a possibility, so take the wave degrees always with a grain of salt, because it is possible. Now I'm going to move this back here. Just depending on shown by time analysis, the wave 2 usually ends around these time frames. Now this has been faster than that, but this is still a valid count. If we want to make this as the end of wave 2 of this intermediary degree, we need to hold this this pivot here around 2160. If it goes lower, then this, at least this part of the wave count is wrong, as wave 2 cannot retrace too much more. We got around 20% after this point until this whole wave 1-2 gets invalidated. But that is just one idea that you can look into, and again, this looks to be really deep correction. Could be ending here, ABC maybe, and then 1-2. What would be the targets for this? We label it, or start the extension from start of 1 to the end of 2. Is this it? Yep. And extension is here, around 1.618, so that would be $12,000 on Ethereum. Yup, that sounds quite a lot. Now, would I target that? Maybe. There's also this one here saying that if we are not done, we can take up that out. So this projection is saying that we're still in wave 4, and whether we come down a bit more, this is typical target, and that is around the same area, around $12,000. For that we got this count. So this is a bit more bearish, at least on the short term, before that wave 5 of primary. Do I have an alternation here? We got WXY here, and we're expecting ABC here. No, not that one. There we go. Which was this? I'm going to unview that for now, but the count is pretty much like this: ABC into A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into A, then B, then C, into intermediary B, and now we're making 5 waves down. Now we got the same targets around here that I previously shown. There's some bumps into volume profile that we can grab onto, and hopefully keep. If we're dropping these levels, then there's not too much, like here, there's not too much price action to hold us, and we can go lower, but that is an issue for another time. Now, where do we think this C or end of primary 4 might be? We can project that as well. Let's see, let me zoom in a bit, get those measurements a bit more clear. So extension, I marked this as 1 and here marked 2. This correction down here is really messy. I tried to place the wave 2 here, but then this wave here retraced so much that either this would be 1 2 1 2 1 2 and then starting unravel the count, and that would be way more bearish. So I didn't think that was the most likely case here, so that is why I placed 2 here, having a WXY. Now, the bearish scenario that I mentioned would be way more bearish than this one, but we can probably look at that at another time if that comes to being. Now, the critical part here is this around $2,100 area where I placed the minor 3. We can see on the inverse wave 4, and the targets would be around here, $1,900 and $1,600. As this wave 3 is extended, we can expect wave 5 not to be extended, and this should be this one. Let me drag it here, you can see the target. The usual target for extended wave 3s, as you can see, let me show you again why it's extended. Wave 1 is here, and here. The usual target is around 1.618. This came all the way down, where is that? More than 3.618, so it's definitely extended. Now the 5th can be approximated with starting from the start of the whole wave structure up to the wave 3 and back up to the wave 4, and this is what this one is, and this one projects us just below $2,000. Now, even after that, we can still argue, we can still probably get 3 waves around here, making the 1 2 possible at least. And if we're not breaking these lows here around $1,700, then we are still going to have to live with multiple counts. Now, again, we can check the volume profile. There is some volume here, not too much. This 1-to-1 is also another target for the 5th. There is this, basically this would be around the lows of the previous primary 3, intermediary 4, which is usually the case of this retracement. But I think those are the best alternatives that I wanted to present to you now. And after that, well, we can again, as this wave 3 of primary was extended, we can check out the same way. Extension here, upwards. And this was the projection all the way from down here. If we, again, would correct up to these targets, let's even say the 1-to-1. not to get too moonboy-ish count, it would be $17,000. Now if we again correct to this 618 that I presented, we would be more than $23,000 on Ethereum. Now that is a number you've probably heard somewhere without much of reasoning, or at least without many Elliott Wave reasons. So that is one scenario that might happen. So I think that is all for now. There's actually something here. Which one was this? Oh yeah, this is the projection for the wave 4 to end. This is projected again from 1, 2 to 3, and it gives us some targets for end of wave 4. And these targets 1.382 and 1.618 are the closest that might happen again. And we still have this channel around that we can follow, plus the pitchfork. Is it this one? Yeah. Let me take out the count so we can actually see this better. And those would come somewhere around here. Where did I have that? Cut to 1. There we go. And here's the 4. No, it's looking a bit more messy, but there is some lines that we can definitely enter into, and with the projection of time where some of these lines meet up, might be good times to put some kind of alert for you to check what is happening. So around 11th of July, 12th, also this 11th of May or 10th of May might be another turning point. But as those are not my primary ways of looking into the markets, the time analyzers, I'm not going to value them too much. But I think that's all for now. I think we got a couple of different counts to show whether this goes up or down. We got those covered. So if you have another coin you would like me to look into, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See ya.